Okay, today I'm going to go through and talk with you about Jersey's Mike's subs and give you some ideas on some foods you can be able to order and get there that will work really well and give you a good balance there. So the great thing about a lot of the websites out at these places, they have their menus right there. They've got all the options, so you can kind of start to figure them all out. So I'm going to start with the cold subs right here. And so going down the list, we're just going to go through. I actually went through this list, and there's actually just a lot of sandwiches you can eat here. I think I have close to about 12 different sandwiches. I'm going to go through and kind of give you just a really good idea of what that kind of looks like, what you can kind of do to make the adjustments to it here. So with this one, your best one is going to be going with the regular. This one's going to get you probably the best amount of calories. If you're looking to get a little fewer calories in for your meals and stuff like that, you could go with a mini and stuff like that. But the regular is going to work out pretty good. You could potentially even get 2 meals out of it, and that's why I suggest the regular. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to look through this here. So a couple options you have with this. My suggestion would be is you have the choice on most all these sandwiches. Is what the choice is going to come down to is you need to omit one or the other, the olive oil blend or the provolone. So either one of those ones is going to be your best option to do that. I prefer to have the cheese on there. Some of you may prefer to have the olive oil blend. So it just really kind of depends on that. The olive oil blend, I would prefer it not being on there of the two. The reason why is if we look at the difference right here, and we set them down here, you can kind of come down and look at this really quick here. They show you the olive oil blend has 28 grams of fat versus that provolone only has 9. So I retract that statement before. I would say go with just the provolone and remove that olive oil blend. For the other types of sauces, so if you're a person that really likes to have sauce on there and stuff like that, your honey mustard, if we come down, we look at that, the honey mustard only adds about 2 grams of fats. And even if we add the yellow mustard or spicy brown mustard, they're about all the same. So any one of those ones is going to be just fine to choose. I don't really have a preference on either one of those ones, but it's really that olive oil blend, and that's going to be a pretty common theme amongst all of the cold subs. So moving down to the Hammond provolone, this is another option right here. We take out that olive oil blend. We get a really, really good balance of getting your protein, carbs, and fats and get really well lined up there for you. The veggie, the problem is with the veggie, the reason why I don't recommend the veggie is because there is just not enough protein with it. And also the fats that are coming with it and so that can get up there pretty high and stuff. So I wouldn't typically suggest it. But if you end up deciding to maybe remove one or both of these ones, that might help out, but it just doesn't help out enough. So it's, no, they do have that olive oil blend. So if we remove that olive oil blend there, and we would just put back in maybe just the provolone. That one, that will actually make it be fairly okay. I'd still, if you're someone that it does not want to eat meat, this would be the option to do it. Is I would just pick one or the other on the cheese. I'm just not a real big fan of the veggie because there just isn't enough protein in there to really get that balance there that I like to look for. The super subs, the next one. This one's also a really good one. Again, we just take out that olive oil blend that drops the fats down quite significantly, and it works really, really well. So again, that olive oil blend is 28 grams of fats. So really what we're looking at is typically on the average person that's we're looking at with, we're probably right around 35 grams of fat for the whole entire day. And so that will pretty much hit it right there just by having that olive oil blend. So we take that out. That really helps out with reducing this. Okay. Next one, the turkey and provolone. Again, remove that olive oil blend and you're good to go. Moving down to the tuna fish. The tuna fish is not one that's going to work out. The reason why is if you look right here, the tuna fish salad, you're looking at there's 40 grams of fat. Then you add that 28 grams of olive oil fat, get you 700 or 71 grams of fat, which really what that kind of comes down to kind of give you the idea of that. That's roughly about 70% of your total calories comes from fats from that. So even if you take out that olive oil, it still is really, really high in fats. So I'm going to say the tuna fish is one to stay away from there. So coming down to the roast beef and provolone, we remove that olive oil blend and it works out great. This one works out just fine there for you. Okay. The original Italian. I was actually surprised with this one. We removed that olive oil blend, and it's really on the cusp. It's like really, really close where it might just be a little too much in fats, but it gets really, really close. So that's why, like, I'd say if you really want to have this would be one that you could pull off. It's probably not the best choice of the ones I'm going to suggest, but this one would work out okay. The club sub. So now this is where the club sub, what we have is this works out fine because it's got that turkey, it's got some ham, which there's not a whole lot of fats in there. And then the provolone, again, we can keep that on there. But now we come down to, we look at this olive oil blend. So that's there. And then we also throw it on the mayonnaise. So we're just double dipping on that. So if we remove those two, and we don't even have to remove that bacon, that will help out making it a lot more well balanced there for you. So that's what I would do with this one. You could be able to add on that spicy brown mustard or the honey mustard or something like that if you want some of that extra. Also, you could add on some of these peppers, the pickles, stuff like that. Those don't really add much to it, but they also make the meal a little bit more like a lot of times we're used to having that the sauce on there and stuff like that. And so that would be a way to be able to fix that is by adding those on, because they'll add a little bit more. Even this cherry pepper relish, there's just really not a whole lot to it. There's not really any calories to it. So that would be another option you could look at there. The Club Supreme. Club Supreme, again, this one has that olive oil and it has the mayonnaise. So if we reduce those guys out, that ends up making it work out there for us to have that Club Supreme. The BLT, because it's just bacon, and the way that I teach it is that bacon is not a protein. So there's just not enough protein in that. So if you look at this right here, the bacon, it's only got 8 grams of protein, but it's got 12 grams of fat. And so the fats are just really over exceed what you're going to get from the protein. So this is one that I would just end up skipping by on that one. The number 4, I don't like, it doesn't really specify what is all with the number 4 until we come down. It's got the prosciutto. And so this one works out pretty well. Again, we knock off that olive oil and it ends up making this one work out pretty good. So this one will work for you too, the number 4. The stickball special, this one also works out pretty good. Just remove that olive oil blend and it works out great for us. That gives us good balance doing it just like that. So coming down to the Grow special, again, I've not eaten at this place before. This is just if I were to go in, this is how I would order my food, is just taking that olive oil blend off. Some of these ones, depending on the type of meat, probably on the like a roast beef, I probably wouldn't use like a honey mustard. I might do like a spicy brown mustard or yellow mustard, or use that cherry pepper relish to kind of add to that and stuff. Okay, California Dreamin', we come over to this one. So now this one comes down to is because we can take out the avocado blend or the olive oil blend, I'm sorry, but then we come down to the guacamole and we look at this one and it's fairly close. I'm not going to say it's entirely perfect. So I'll look at this, it's going to work out for us. So I would say go for this one. You could keep that guacamole on. So that would work out pretty well for it. In some of the dishes, you could maybe add that on, but it also depends, because if it's called California Dreamin', it may only be in California that you can get it. That's just kind of how some of these places end up working out. Doing the olive oil blend off of this one right here, the natural turkey sub, works out just fine there for you. Okay. The Chipotle turkey sub. So this one right here, they've got that Chipotle mayo and they've got the olive oil blend. So again, this one is kind of that Chipotle one, but even if we just remove the olive oil blend, we're just really, really high. And you can see if we keep that olive oil blend, you can see how high that gets in calories, and where those calories mainly all come from is from those fats. So it'd be really, basically what you're getting is you're just getting a turkey sandwich. So I probably would just not do that one. The pepperoni and cheese and the salami, those ones aren't going to be a really good balance there for you because of the type of meat that they're using. But then if we come down to the California Club sub, again, we come down to that avocado and that olive oil blend. So we just got to kind of watch that. If we have that avocado, it gets it up there for us a little too much. So this actually gets us to be about half our calories comes from fats here. So it's not something I would suggest on that. So again, this would basically just be You can maybe look at, if you removed out the bacon, that kind of gets it there, but it's still just not right. If you keep the bacon on there, the bacon might work out. The bacon will work out for it, but it basically comes down to is you're just having that turkey bacon sandwich anyhow from earlier. Then we're going to come down to, and we're going to look at this turkey club sub. Same thing. All those things, the olive oil, the bacon, the mayo, those guys all are going to cause us a little bit of problems to get too high in fats there for you. Then the last one, if you live in Hawaii or if you're traveling in Hawaii, we just take out that olive oil blend, and that ends up working out the pepperoni, prosciutto, hard salami. It gets us pretty close. Like it would be an option you can kind of do. It's because of that boiled ham that ends up making it a better option for us. So that is what we're going to look over on the cold subs. Now the hot subs, not as many options on the hot subs, and part of the reason why with this is because in hot subs there's a lot more cheese on it. They use a lot of sauces and that sorts. So I'm not going to go through each and every one of them because I already did go through them all because they're really hard to be able to balance any of them out. But this Mike's chicken Philly, again, what we're going to do is we're going to go with the regular. And so when we go to the regular, we're looking pretty good balance right here with this one. Okay, so not a whole lot you need to do with this. Just eat it as is. And then the next one is going to be the Big Kahuna chicken cheesesteak. This one works out pretty good. It's got a pretty good balance. Probably gonna be quite hearty. Probably be able to split this into 2 meals, and it would work out just great that way. Okay. The next one and the last one is going to be the barbecue beef. This one works out just fine. You just order it as is and eat it just as is. You're great with that. Okay, so that is on the hot subs. So not a whole lot of changes on the hot subs, more of a little adjustments on the cold subs. Salads, I'm typically not a fan of the salads just because the carbohydrates are too low, and then the salad dressings that you use to it end up getting the fats up really high. So I'm just not a big fan of the salads in most places. So we're going to be omitting that one out. So now if you got kids, this one right here, your kids sub ham, go ahead and have this one. Then the next one is the kids sub turkey. This one works out great too. So, and even if like my kids, they would end up doing it like this. They take those guys out and they just eat it just with the meat, and that's about it. The meat and cheese, that still works out just fine. So this is what my review is on Jersey Mike's. So go ahead and let me know if you have any questions. Go ahead and put any comments you have on this. I really like to hear your feedback on it. Anyhow, take care. Hope this helps out for you.